Hey, good morning, everybody. Another beautiful day in paradise. So, I just put out a video about Joe Biden, giving his confession about, or saying he's not guilty, or has never committed any of those crimes. And now we just got to hear Tara Reade's interview with Megyn Kelly on Megyn Kelly's show.
So let's go back to 1992.
Mm-hmm.
You get a job working for then Senator Joe Biden as what?
A staff assistant.
You're overseeing the interns.
Correct. So I was very excited to be on the Hill. I was very excited to work for Joe Biden. He's someone I looked up to.
So you're on Capitol Hill. You're how old at this point?
I'm 28, 29.
And you make some friends, including a woman who I'm just going to call Karen
Mm-hmm.
for the purposes of this interview,
Correct.
who's working in Ted Kennedy's office.
Correct.
Okay, and Karen becomes pretty relevant
Right.
in a short amount of time. Then at some point in your 8-month stint working for Biden, you claim you were sexually harassed.
Right.
You know, some people are going to hear this story and they're going to say, you're telling me a U.S. senator in the middle of the day in a Senate office building committed a sexual assault right there?
Yeah.
Like, how can people believe that?
I don't really care if people believe it or not. I've had to live with it. And it's just one of those things that's impacted and shattered my life. It changed everything about my life. In that moment, I knew how angry he was, and I remember thinking, like, taking it on myself, like thinking I put him in a bad position. Like maybe he thought I wanted to be with him.
Actually did complain about what had been going on in that office to anyone.
Yes, right before the assault, I had gone to Marianne Baker and we had our hallway meetings, and I was about, not serving the drinks, and I started to tell her I was uncomfortable, and she did not want to hear that. Right after the assault, I wanted to tell her about the assault. So we were in the hallway. I was trying to tell her. I was trying to say something happened. And before I could really get any words out, she put her hand up and she said, I don't want to hear this.
There was nothing that would suggest to her you had been sexually assaulted by him.
No, I started to say something happened, and she didn't let me get further than that.
All of the complaining you did about the office environment happened prior to the alleged assault, except for the conversation you claim you had with Marianne
Yes.
in the hallway where
Yeah.
you felt shut down. But then there was a point at which you decided to file a written complaint.
Correct.
Marianne Baker, your direct report, says, such a complaint, quote, would have left a searing impression on me as a woman, professional, and as a manager. It didn't happen. Ted Kaufman says, she did not come to me. If she had, I would have remembered her. A similar denial from Dennis Toner. These are pretty emphatic. Your reaction?
Well, you have to look at the source. I mean, they're still working with Biden, so they're not just Biden staffers or former. They're with him, except I think Marianne Baker's now retired, but she was with him. Their job was to cover what he did. There are people that have enabled and allowed his behavior to continue, and they know who they are.
You voted for Joe Biden in 2008 and 2012. And I think a lot of people look at that and say, how could you vote for the man who sexually assaulted you?
Because I wasn't voting for him, I was voting for Obama. I mean, I was really hopeful and happy that Obama became president, and Joe Biden happened to be on the ticket.
One of the reasons people have chosen to dismiss you, some people have chosen to dismiss your allegation, is because there was a March 3rd tweet that I want to ask you about.
Okay.
So The Intercept's Ryan Grimm tweeted out, quote, a head-to-head Biden v. Sanders contest will force voters to take a close look at Biden again. That went very badly for him last time. And you responded at 10:33 p.m. on March 3rd, 2020. Yep. Timing. Wait for it. Tick-tock. It sounds political, and it sounds like you were excited to drop this bomb.
That was in response to me getting, finally, I thought, an attorney from Time's Up to finally bring something forward and bring my story forward in a safe way.
Are you in favor of the conversation? I mean, does Joe Biden get due process? Does he get the chance to vet these claims and defend himself? Is that okay?
I think he's been doing that, right?
If I can just go back for 1 second to Blasey Ford,
Yes.
because we mentioned her and we were
Yes.
talking about Believe All Women. Some of those who supported her but now have found a reason not to support you say, well, she was under oath. Would you go under oath?
Absolutely.
They say, well, she subjected herself to cross-examination. Would you do that?
Absolutely.
They also point out that she took a polygraph controlled by someone on her team. Is that something you want to do?
I'm not a criminal. Joe Biden should take the polygraph. What I would say is that they're not admissible into court, one. Two, Blasey Ford took one. Is that true? I believe that's what I understand. But what kind of precedent does that set for survivors of violence? Does that mean we're presumed guilty and we all have to take polygraphs? So I'm just putting it out there. So I will take one if Joe Biden takes one.
And it was a 42-minute video, and let me tell you, it was quite interesting. I will give Megyn Kelly credit where credit's due, because I believe she actually did pretty much had some gotcha questions in there with the whole, Vladimir Putin and, her praising Biden in social media in some ways. What do you call it? But at the same time, I believe Tara Reade's, I want to, not excuses, but reasons are not exactly not reasonable. It's not like it's not reasonable. First off, even if she liked Putin, I mean, it's not, even if, let's say she had a crush on Putin, it's not like she said, I want Putin to rule America. I don't see that being the narrative. But somehow, and it wouldn't make sense because Trump, so she's helping Trump by helping Putin, and all that just seems like a real interesting toss of, narrative. I still believe there's a 15% chance that she might be lying, but so far it doesn't seem that way. The story seems somewhat legit. I can't say 100% legit because it would be interesting to see that actual polygraph. If both of them took the polygraph test, sorry, I have to lower, it's hot outside. If both of them took the polygraph test, I would probably be intrigued to see how it play out. And if they were both cross-examined, I also would love to see how that played out too. Biden would obviously have an upper advantage because he's been doing this for years, so cross-examination would probably be his bread and butter. But as far as polygraph, I think he might not have that. I think the truth would come out in some essence in that way, between one of the two. So her story seems, it's awful, honestly, and the fact that and she's right. How are other women supposed to come out after how she's being treated? They're trying to see how this plays out with her. It might be a good point. Maybe there are other women. But think about it. This is one of the most strong, powerful, influential people. He's running for president of the United States. It's kind of hard at this moment in time to have any backup, considering everyone is always going to be on a corner. It's like a brotherhood or something, I feel like. When you get into something, like when you become a police officer, or when you become a judge, or you become a politician, you have these certain like brotherhood, or like some of these like rules where it's like, hey, we have to help each other out, protect you, I protect you, you protect me, in a way. That's why you hear all these politicians saying it didn't happen, but I don't know if it didn't happen. There's a woman saying, Karen, whose name is probably not the actual name, but who's saying it's true, and her mom did go on Larry King. So there is all of this to kind of go on. So I don't know if Biden really wanted to be legit. Look, if he really wanted to clear his name, let both of them take a polygraph test. Let Biden consent, say yes. University of Delaware, you have my consent. Go ahead, release documentations if there's any about Tara Reade, only specifically about Tara Reade and any sexual assault complaints. If you have all that, then bam. But he's not doing that. It's guilt already, and the fact that they actually blocked it is already bad. So, and it's true, this weird narrative where it's like, if you're a conservative, a Republican, you'll get brutalized. But Democrat, we're supposed to be gentle. We would never do something like that. That's what they're trying to say. And that's not true. Bill Clinton did it. I believe John F. Kennedy did it. So politicians are like that. We have to start being honest and stop BSing ourselves. I feel like we're not 100% real with ourselves because we don't want the truth. The truth is too brutally honest. Imagine, think about this. I want you to throw this like scenario. If you were a mother, a father, or a daughter, or a son, and let's say you're really close with your family members, like your mom or dad, or your brother, or your son or daughter, and let's throw a scenario where they say, okay, tell me, on all honesty, everything about your life. the ugliest things you've ever done, the most embarrassing, the most things you regret, everything, would you genuinely tell them 100% all of it? Or would you leave some out? Leaving some out is not technically not telling the truth, but it is hiding the truth. So, in this essence, I feel this. I feel like people don't want to accept that Biden did it. Trump was accepted completely for doing it, like nobody cared. But when we're in the Democratic side, we're like, okay, we can't just accept. Some people, she's even saying, like, look, just I know people who know they did this to me, and they're still voting for him. So it's like, even if you do vote, it's not exactly like you're a bad person. You're not the one who did sexually assault Tara Reade. It was Biden. To choose a man, though, who did sexually assault a woman, that right there is messed up. But then again, we're really conflicted, human beings. We have a man named Chris Brown who beat Rihanna, took some time out of it, but at the end of the day, I mean, he still was making music at the end of the day. And women even were writing on, leaving him notes saying, hey, you can beat me. I wouldn't mind him beating me. I don't care. I'd let him beat me. So there's almost a different side to every story, but the honest truth is she's probably telling the truth. I believe her. And hopefully this does make some kind of addressed issue of the general election, because we can't have him run. If he runs, that's going to be a big no-no, because then it's just going to be one predator against another predator. That's just not going to work. But if he steps down and Bernie goes in, there'll be that. I don't think that's going to happen. That's literally not going to happen because of the establishment and all that. But it would be an interesting twist. Anyways, I'll leave it with that note. I hope you guys enjoy this. Please leave a comment, share, subscribe to the channel. Catch you guys later. Peace.